Doing a road trip across the country is hard no matter what. If you're doing it just in a car, with a travel trailer, with an RV, or if you're doing the hashtag van life, going across country is hard no matter what. One of the ways that you can save some time and money is to stop at the rest stops on the highway. And that's exactly what we just did on our last road trip, all the way from Southern California back to Buffalo, New York, trailering our 2024 Hiker Trailer Extreme Off-Road Edition with our 2019 Ram Rebel 1500. And I want to tell you guys about our experience, how it was, how safe we felt, how it was sleeping next to other trucks, sleeping next to other cars, how that whole experience kind of went. So if you're thinking about doing it, what you can expect. Let's jump right into this video. So we've done this trip quite a few times in the past couple of years. We've actually just did this trip again a couple of months ago, when we went to go pick up our trailer and bring it back to California from Buffalo. But this trip was a little bit different than all the other trips because now we are taking not just our two dogs, our third little puppy along with us. So it did make the trip a tad bit more difficult and a tad bit slower just because we had to stop so many more times for the puppy to let her out and let her pee. But we've done this trip quite a few times before in the past. So to bring you guys up to speed, this trip started a late Friday night. Normally we would like to leave earlier in the day, I want to say around like 6 or 7, but it took us a lot longer to get out of the house, get everything going, and for us to officially get on the road. We had to go to the storage unit, pick up our trailer, finish loading that up and getting the dog and everything situated. And then we left on out. It was a late Friday night, basically Saturday morning when we got on the road. By the time we got on the road, we didn't get extremely far before we stopped for the very first time. We had to stop and we just slept inside of the actual truck. We didn't even get inside of the trailer that first night. We only slept for a couple of hours, and the reason why we did that was because I wanted us to just kind of get as far as we possibly could that first night, as far outside of the city, as far as much as we can. And normally I would like to that first night just keep driving all the way through the night into the next morning and then have the other driver just take over. But this time we were just tired. There was so much more stuff going on, so we couldn't get that far that first night. But doing this though, I would say it definitely saved us time by just stopping at a truck stop with the trailer. We were able to just close our eyes inside of the car for a couple of hours. I want to say like maybe 2, at the most 3 hours. And that saved us a ton of time without having to unpack anything, do anything crazy. So we can just rest our eyes, and the moment that we woke up, get up and keep driving. So that saved us a lot of time there. So even though we weren't driving, it did save us time of having to have any downtime of us getting out of the car, dealing with getting to the trailer, getting the dogs out, and anything like that. So that is one of the reasons why it does save you some time if you do stop at a truck stop. Now, I will say the first truck stop was a more traditional, like there was no rest area or like bathrooms or anything like that. It was just side of the road truck stop. Now, in my experience, stopping at these type of stops, they're pretty chill. Especially for truck drivers, they're used to pulling over, they jump in their cab and they got everything they pretty much need. So it's pretty chill. When we first stopped, there was like one spot like that was kind of open, not even necessarily like in the big parking area, but kind of like as the exiting ramp was going to get back on the highway, there was like one little spot that we were able to slither in with the truck and trailer. And that was fine. But then when we woke up, there was like another truck that like snuck in right behind me. So trucks, they're used to getting in those spots. When they got us pull over to rest, they'll find a way. So that was fine. I tried to make sure we weren't taking up too much of an area because I know truck drivers, we try to give them their space because it is for them. And I know like they have a hard job to do, so you don't want to take up their spots. But yeah, so that was totally fine. Felt totally safe. There was no issues. In our experience, you're usually pretty good. We put a sunshade up in the front windshield, roll the windows up, maybe leave them cracked, and you're pretty good. So the first truck stop was wonderful. Now the second truck stop, I believe that was Saturday night. So we drove all through the day Saturday, and then Saturday night I told myself we're going to stop and actually sleep. So I think we drove all the way until like 12 or 1 a.m. Sunday morning. Normally in the past, we would usually try our best to just keep driving straight through. Like usually on these trips, we would leave a Friday, like maybe like 5 or 6, get there like Sunday morning, just pretty much drive straight through to switch drivers. But this time, we knew we weren't going to do that. We have the trailer. We're going to stop at least once. So we decided Saturday night slash Sunday morning, we were going to stop. So this was a much more traditional rest stop. I forgot exactly where the rest stop was, but it was some way, going through. Um, we stopped, pulled over at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, at this rest stop, this one had a cars and trucks. The way that this place split it up, it was cars go one way and trucks and any vehicle with a trailer had to go the other way. So we had to go obviously the way with the trailers and the trucks. So what we did, all of the spots that were meant for the big trucks, I tried to not go over there. There was like kind of like a slither, kind of like off to the side, next to the building, I wouldn't say, that people were parking along there. I chose to go over there to try to get out of the way for the trucks because once again, the trucks, they have their dedicated area, and I know like they have a hard job and they got places to be and they got to park and everything. So I tried to not take up a spot that a truck would fit, but a spot that a car or something smaller would fit. So that's where we kind of snuck off to. After we got into that little area, it was late at night. There was plenty of people there. Trucks were idling. These type of stops is this was your more traditional rest stop. So the building was still open. You can go to the bathroom if you needed to. So that's what we did. We was able to go to the bathroom. Brush your teeth, do everything that you need to do. And in my experience, most of them are clean. Sometimes overnight they may get a little bit, just because usually the maintenance people are there during the day keeping them clean. So at night, sometimes they might get a little bit wild. But for the most part, they're okay. They will pass. It would be much nicer if you had your own bathroom, like in an RV. That would be nice. But if you don't, you can use the bathroom. Um, the water's fine. We had our own stuff just because I don't really like using tap water from random sinks and stuff like that to like brush your teeth or stuff like that. But for the most part, everything seemed pretty chill. Like for me and my wife, we were able to let the dogs out. The dogs were able to walk around for a minute, and we were able to get into the trailer, no problem at all. I did lock up the truck and even locked up the truck bed. I have like a cap on, so we locked that up just for a little extra security. I don't think anything would have happened. I know there was like a truck in front of us. He was trying to, I think, fix his brakes, his air brakes, because he kept trying to like push on it and release it. And I kept seeing the guy get out and like checking something. So there was people walking around. It didn't really feel like, you were too much by yourself. So like there were people, and this was late at night, like early in the morning. There was cars and trucks coming in and out of there, people idling their trucks, so fairly well lit. If I was by myself, I would still feel fine. If you're a single female, I think you would be fine because there's plenty of female truck drivers and stuff like that. I would definitely just when you're going to sleep, lock your doors. I mean, that's what I would do anywhere, no matter where I'm at, I'm locking my doors. Have a little bit of protection on you just in case. You never know. Just anywhere that you go. That was totally fine. We were able to pull the trailer over, let the dogs inside of the trailer. I will say, we're used to having 2 dogs inside of the trailer. Having 3 made things a teeny bit more engaging, is what I would say. Having a little puppy and there's people walking around outside, she definitely was just looking around and, just very curious about what in the world is going on. It was her first time inside of the trailer. But I will say, once again, the hiker trailer, it is wonderful for camping or even urban camping and environments like this. It's still very comfortable with the bed that we have in there, especially with the max fan going and then with our other little portable fans going. I will say I do think this was better than going to a Walmart just because of most people that are there are going to be there to like rest, especially because it's like off of the highway. And it is still, people can still do it, but I feel like if someone's going to be doing something like trying to rob people, they would have to get on the highway, go to a random rest stop. Like I feel like it's like an extra step because a lot of times the rest stops, they're like not necessarily in the city. They're kind of off the beaten path. They're like off of the main interstate. So not saying that it couldn't happen. I mean, there's dishonest people everywhere, but like I think it's probably a little bit better versus like a Walmart where that's like literally like in town for most people. You can just kind of like hang out in the parking lot. For this, you kind of have to be like, there's a lot of other features, or a lot of other deterring elements. You need to have a car that can drive on the highway and go to a rest stop and go to a place that there's going to be people walking around and truck drivers walking around and people coming in and out of pretty much all the time. So I think there's an extra element that kind of makes it a little bit more secure, at least in my mind. But like I said, if you can, have some protection with you no matter where you go. You never know. Lock your stuff up and, make wise decisions. Our trip back to California, I plan on stopping at some campgrounds. I want to really give the compare and contrast to stopping at the rest stops. I want to see what's it like. We haven't really taken the trailer to an actual campsite where we can plug up and everything like that. I think that will be fun. And really, we're going to take our time going back versus coming here. I think we might take at least 4 days or so because I want to have shorter drive days and really try to enjoy the experience, especially because we're going to be driving back with something else with us as well this time, which that video should be going out, I think, later on. I'm really excited to get back on the road with our travel trailer. It's been so much fun with that thing. But if you guys want to know what's it like trailering a travel trailer about 2,500 miles across country, check this video out right here. This was our first time ever doing it, our experience, how we liked it, how the trailer trailed with us with this truck. Check this video out. Subscribe for more. See you in the next one.